Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure wind. The late and great Mr. George Orwell. The famous English novelist accomplished so much in his time on Earth. He set out to gain an understanding of the world and its knacks. Little did he know, he would join a much bigger fight, that being the political side of things. On June the 25th of 1903, Eric Arthur Blair, better known as George Orwell, was born. Mr. Orwell became fascinated with poetry at a young age and began to write poems. You can say in school and in life where he lacked personality, he made up for it with his intelligence. But sadly, on January the 21st of 1950, at the very tender age of 46, he died. The English novelist was known for so many of his pieces of work, the most famous being The Animal Farm in 1984. Including those two pieces, he was known for more than 12 others that were just as amazing. Just a few being A Hanging, A Clergyman's Daughter, Coming Up for Air, The Lion and the Unicorn, Socialism and English Genius, Down and Out in Paris and London, Why I Write, and so many others. Because Mr. Orwell has so many bodies of work, I thought it would best fit the presentation to just summarize a few. First, we have The Animal Farm. The Animal Farm comes off as a novel about leadership and democracy, in every way from the animals taking over to the misuse of power. It shows you the idea of one's freedom, the corruption of others, and even the rebellion. Even though the story is about animals, it is also a reflection of the events of the Russian Revolution in 1917. 1984. This book talks about the government and how the government is watching us at all times, how they are manipulating and controlling us. It talks about the control that they have over us without us even knowing about it. It crosses a line in which Americans believe they had. There is also some truth to this. It seemingly strikes fear and gets into their minds. Then you have Down and Out in Paris and London. Down and Out in Paris and London was Mr. Orwell's first full-length piece that was published. The book stands in as his memoir of his life. It is centered around him being homeless in Paris and London, which takes place around the end of the 1920s. This is right before he moves back to Burma. It explains his experience of working casual labor jobs in restaurants. This specific book seems to walk a very fine line between fact and fiction. In our age, there is no such thing as keeping out of politics. All issues are political issues, and politics itself is a mass of lies, evasion, folly, hatred, and schizophrenia. Mr. George Orwell. Mr. Orwell's influence on the community helped those who would listen about the political views that they had become so comfortable with. He was best known for his strong opinions in which he addressed all political aspects of what he saw and experienced. Those included communism, fascism, and even imperialism. To your left, you will see a timeline in which just a few of his pieces of work were created. A man that was famous for his outlook on politics, culture, language, and literature is what he was. He left behind so many great pieces for those who are willing to read, and a God of knowledge. One who was never afraid to express his belief regardless of who liked it and who did not. Mr. Orwell left behind a legacy and many contributions, some of them being a guidance for generations to come, motivation for those who wanted to write, gaining a voice for those who felt like they did not have one, but maybe just in writing, staying involved whether it's political or other aspects, taking time, knowing that everything is not going to happen when you want it to or when you need it to, and staying woke, staying on top of things that most of us do not want to listen to but need to know. George Orwell was a man of many things and many views. He not only wrote about his life in various scenarios, but he is publicly known for his views on politics. Mr. Orwell was well educated. He joined the Indian Imperial Police for once he moved back from Burma. He resigned from the British colony in 1927, and that is when it all happened for him. He became a writer. He describes his misfortunes in his book that is called Down and Out in Paris and London. That is when he came up with the idea of changing his name from Eric Arthur Blair to George Orwell. For the first time in his life, after he accomplished success, he was happy and able to say that he was comfortable and good at doing something. A man of wise words he was. A people that elect corrupt politicians, impostors, thieves, and traitors are not victims, but accomplices. The distinguishing mark of man is the hand, the instrument in which he does his mischief. In general, the greater understanding, the greater the delusion. The more intelligent, the less sane. Lastly, we know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Mr. George Orwell. Thank you so much for taking the time to follow along with me and read about Mr. George Orwell, or by his born name, Eric Arthur Blair. Thank you so much and have a great day.